Wa alaikum salam wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. I understand that you're going through a terribly difficult time right now, and you're so very young as well. Your parents are those that you probably love most in this life, and you're seeing them go through a difficult time. You're seeing them fighting frequently, and how they don't talk to each other anymore, and they're drifting away from each other. And this must be very, very painful for you. It's really, really painful when we see people that we love going through a hard time, and um, to be experiencing that on a daily basis because you're probably living with them, of course. You're having to live with this constant negativity, and of course, this is obviously going to be leaving you feeling, really down. Um, so, and I think a lot of the time in situations like this, parents, when they have children, when they're going through difficult times, don't actually realize that the impact of what they are doing and what they are going through on the children as well. They don't realize that the difficulties between them are actually having a large impact, if probably not, more impact actually on the children, especially when they're living in the same house, because they're having to suffer from the emotions of seeing the two people that they love most in this life going through such difficulties as well. And I think a lot of parents in this situation lose sight of this and don't realize this. So, of course, it's really difficult and painful for you to be experiencing this all the time. And I can see that you have tried to confront your mother about it. Um, so, what I would advise in this situation is that, as tempting as it can be to get involved like this and to talk to them about, what it is that they're doing and their relationship, it's really tempting to get involved because you're around it all the time. You know what's going on, and maybe you feel like you have some solution. And of course, you would love to see them, in a happy and strong relationship together. But when it comes to other people's relationships, even those that are close to you, it's advisable not to get involved. It's their business to manage the difficulties that they're having, and it's their business to resolve it without other people interfering in this. Even if they ask you to get involved or ask other people to get involved, that's a massive responsibility. Um, so it sounds like they've not asked you to get involved, and as their child, they probably wouldn't. So I'd advise not to get involved, as tempting as it can be, and leave that to them. But I also understand at the same time it is incredibly painful for you. But the way to deal with it from your perspective is not to get involved, but instead, what you could do instead of getting involved in trying to help them kind of deal with their difficulties, at least let them know how the situation is making them feel. Like I said, often parents in this situation might be oblivious actually to how it's impacting on you as the child who's been, experiencing this this situation, and actually it is painful for you as well. So not getting involved on the level of telling them, how they can change the situation, but letting them know how it's making you feel, and how it's hurting you to be in this situation, because maybe they're not aware of it, and maybe it just needs to be brought to their awareness that this is how you're feeling. And once they're aware of that, maybe this will change the way they deal with the situation, and maybe make them understand that actually they need to sort themselves out for your sake as much as their own as well. So at least making them aware of it might help them to be more mindful of the way they're behaving towards each other, their relationship with one another. Whether it changed their relationship with one another, I don't know. It may do, but it would at least make them more mindful of how the situation is making you feel, and to make them cautious of how they're dealing with it. So that's how I would advise you to deal with the situation in your home. But also, I understand it's part of your everyday life because you're in the same environment with them. But try not to get too caught up in it as well. Or, it's a negative environment to be in. Instead, also be seeking to do other things for your pleasure in other ways as well, outside of the house as well. So if there's any, you're probably going to school. Um, so find your pleasure in other things outside of the home as well. So if you're at school, you're studying, focus on your study. um, you know continue to do hobbies and do all the things, be with good people, enjoy the company of other people, and find some kind of positivity in your life as well, outside of the difficulties that you're facing inside the home as well, so that you don't get too caught up in the negativities that you're facing on a daily basis as well. So, as well as focusing on talking to your parents about how you're feeling and how the situation's making you feel without actually getting involved in their situation, but also making sure that you're finding alternative ways to bring yourself pleasure in life as well. Inshallah, these things will help you to deal mentally, emotionally, psychologically with the difficulties that you're facing right now, whilst your parents um, kind of, I guess, go through their own journey together as well. So um, may Allah unite them and bring them happiness in their relationship. May that happiness in the relationship, whatever way it's going, may they find a way to overcome the difficulties. But may that also then impact on bringing you peace and happiness as well. May you find that within your home with your parents, and may they find it in their own selves. But also may you find that beyond that as well, outside of the family situation as well. May Allah make it easy for you, and may He give you the strength to press through this and strive to be a better person in this life that will be pleasing to Allah in both this life and the next.